Hey everybody, I wanted to make this video to let you know that I've just put up some brand new records on needlemeetsvinyl.com, and I'm super excited about these records, so let's get right into it. First of all, I've finally been able to put up some Beatle related albums. I know a lot of you have been waiting and sending me messages saying, when are you going to have some more Beatle albums up there? And while I did have that Beatles for Sale album up there, it went so quickly. I think within 24 hours, someone picked it up. So I'm really trying really hard to get some Beatle titles up on the site, especially like the actual Beatles studio albums. And I can say with certainty that very soon the Beatles will be arriving on the website, including Revolver, the White Album, and Abbey Road. So stay tuned. It's going to be really cool. But until then, I have some excellent solo Beatle titles, 2 of them in fact. And if you signed up for my subscription, or my newsletter rather, on the website, you got an email this morning notifying you of these titles. So you got first dibs on a lot of that stuff. So if you haven't signed up already, sign up for the newsletter. Go to needlemeetsvinyl.com and just give me your email. And I'm only sending out 1 email a month, never anymore. So in those emails you will get, I will let you know all the records I'm just putting out, and you'll get first dibs, like I said, on some really, really cool stuff. So let's get into the records. This one is, as I'm sure a lot of you know, one of my all-time favorite albums by anybody, and it's my top album by any of the solo Beatles. This is Paul and Lennon McCartney's Ram. And this pressing right here, this is the very one on the website right now. This one blew me away, and in fact it changed all of my opinions about what the best pressing of Ram can be. As I'm sure maybe a lot of you know, if you've seen some of my previous videos, I used to have a copy of Ram that was, I still have it actually, that was the Japanese pressing, and I thought it was absolutely hands down the best. Well, this one is now the best, and this is a US pressing. And I know that seems kind of wild because a lot of times I tend to put down the US Apple pressings, and actually I will show you this one. But when it comes to this one's got special markings in the dead wax that really prove that it's an excellent, excellent sounding record. I almost dropped it there, but I caught it, don't worry. It's on, obviously, the Apple label, and this is in pristine condition. Just absolutely flawless, this copy. And there is the second side. And as I was talking about the stampers, this one has the special, it's got like a star stamper in there, which is different from all of the other US pressings that I've heard. And I went through, I think I had 6 total US pressings, all with different stampers. And this one with the star, for some reason, this sounds excellent. And I wrote about it on needlemeetsvinyl.com for the listing for this Ram album, and I'll mention it here. The reason I believe that this US pressing sounds better than a UK pressing or even the Japanese pressing is because this album was made in the US. It was made in New York City at Columbia Recording Studios. So that means the master was also created, so it was mixed, mastered in the United States. So that means that the best quality tapes were used to press these American pressings. And this does not disappoint. So I really recommend, if you are looking for a really excellent copy of Ram, this is the one for you because it sounds great. And I won't go into all the songs because I've had other videos for that. So check out my other video on Ram if you want to know more about what's on this record. But just know that this pressing is amazing. So yeah, check it out. And by the way, I did find another copy of this with the special star and the dead wax that I kept from my own personal collection. So don't worry. But this one's on the site right now, so check it out. So that's Ram. The second Beatle-related pressing is this John Lennon album, the rock and roll album. And this is another one that for the longest time I couldn't find a really good sounding copy of this. That is until I found this copy. And this is again a US pressing on the Apple label. I'll take it out of here so you can see it. Another one that is in fantastic condition. And I have a bunch of these pressings because you can pick these up for pretty cheap. But it's all about finding one that's quiet, which this one is, and one that has just superior sound, which this one also has. So this is just a very, very classic John Lennon album, all full of rock and roll covers. And I wrote a whole article about this on the website as well, so check that out if you want to get some more kind of back information on the sessions and just what I think of the sound overall. But this is on the website right now as well, so head on over there, check it out. If you're looking to upgrade your copy of rock and roll, or if you don't have it in your collection yet and you want to get just a really great copy of it, here it is. This is fantastic, and in my opinion, the best sounding copy I've ever heard. So, Rock and Roll by John Lennon. Moving on, this is a fantastic Neil Young album by Neil Young and Crazy Horse. In fact, this is one of my favorite Neil Young albums. This is called Zuma. This is released in 1975, and this is the Neil Young electric guitar solo album, in my opinion. His guitar playing on this album is the best of his career. I will go out on record saying that, and this pressing presents that guitar playing in the best way I've ever heard. This is on an original, on the original Reprise label, and it's in very, very nice condition. As you can see, here is side 2. Flip it around so you can actually see the label. I'm making sure just to touch the edges, just so all of you know. And this pressing sounds fantastic, and the cool thing about this is that it comes with all of the original inserts. And in fact, the actual record is still in the original shrink wrap, which I have inside a plastic sleeve here, obviously. But I won't take it out. But just so you know, it has the original inner sleeve, and it has the original insert that has the lyrics to the album written out in Neil Young's handwriting. So another very cool collector's item, and it sounds great too. So Neil Young, Crazy Horse, Zuma. And the song on here that will blow your mind is Cortez the Killer. It's so good. If you haven't heard that song, stop this video, go listen to it somehow, wherever you can, and you will see that it's such a great song, and you will want to hear it on this pressing. Here comes Bob the cat, by the way. Oh, no, he's going the other way. Bob, you want to come over here? Hey, want to be in the video? No, he might show up. Okay, this one's very, very special. This is an original UK pressing of Fleetwood Mac's second album, Mr. Wonderful, featuring Peter Green on guitar. And there's Bobby. Bobby, come here. Come here. Come here. Okay. Sorry, folks. Just a little intermission with Bobby. You know, it's around here, that's very normal. If you've seen my videos, you know. Bobby, if he comes in the shot, we don't edit him out. He's in the shot. All right, back to Fleetwood Mac. So this is an original UK pressing of Fleetwood Mac's second album, Mr. Wonderful, featuring Peter Green on guitar, and this is amazing. This is really, really hard to find, and I've been looking for an original pressing of this on the Blue Horizon label, and I will show you right now. Blue Horizon. And this record is in very good condition. I will say it's not in near mint condition like all of the other records that I normally post on the site, but this is a big exception because the sound quality is phenomenal. It sounds so good. And in fact, the stampers on this is an A1 on side 1, and I believe, yeah, and it's a B1 on side 2. So these are early stampers, and it sounds so good. It's got a little bit of surface noise, and when I say a little bit of surface noise, I mean truly just a little bit of surface noise. That as soon as the music starts playing, you can't hear that surface noise at all anymore. But it's such a classic blues album, and it just sounds so great. And finding it on this label is very, very, very difficult to do, especially here in the United States. So I'm really happy to get it up on the website. And if there are any British blues fans out there, this is a record that you have just got to hear. You probably already know about it, but it's just a very, very, very great record. And Peter Green is just one of the greatest guitar players of all time, in my opinion. And I think he's majorly overlooked. So this is a great album to hear his wonderful, wonderful playing. So Fleetwood Mac, Mr. Wonderful. Original UK pressing. Okay, speaking of original pressings, this is Grateful Dead's American Beauty album, released in 1970, and this, for me, is the Grateful Dead's best studio album, and my personal favorite Grateful Dead album as well. It has every single song on here is really, really good, really melodic, has a lot of lush harmonies, and just is an excellent, excellent album. And it's on the original. Oh, there's Bobby again. Bobby, come here, Bob. He's got his mouse here, folks. So I'm gonna throw the mouse. Bob, hey. Okay, there goes his mouse. Okay, back to Grateful Dead. This is on the original green Warner Brothers label, and this is in fantastic condition. Sounds really, really good. For those of you that know, you want to get this album on this green Warner Brothers label, and you want to get it with the Artisan Sound stamper logo, which is on here on both sides. And it's hard to describe what that looks like, but it's just a very unique symbol. It's like a circle with almost like two devil horns on it. But it sounds so good. This is recorded at Wally Heider Studios in San Francisco. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. If I'm not, tell me in the comments below. I'm sure you will anyway. But same studio that Deja Vu by Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young was recorded. And it's just known for its great, great sound. And this pressing demonstrates that great sound. So this is another really, really cool record. I'm happy to get up on the website. And one, by the way, that this took me a long time to try to find a clean copy on this green Warner Brothers label. I have one in my own collection that I absolutely love. In fact, it's almost identical to these stampers. They're a little bit different. But I think this one is quieter than my copy. And I think I went through three of these green labels, and I think I also had like 3 or 4 of the later Warner Brother label reissues of this as well. And these green labels just beat those hands down, no doubt about it. So very, very cool album. And last but not least, perhaps the greatest blues record of all time. This is B.B. King live at the Regal, and this is an album that changed my life. I know it changed a lot of people's lives because B.B. King is absolutely on fire on this record. And I encourage anyone who, if you are just getting into the blues and you need a place to start, this is the album to start, because this, to me, just defines electric blues. His band is excellent on this. He is excellent on this. The recording quality is amazing. And this pressing is, I believe this is so this pressing has the Bell Sound stamper on both sides, which is the one that you want to get, in my opinion, when it comes to this B.B. King album. And this originally came out in 1965, and this is a reissue from 1966, so it's just a year away. But it sounds better than the original pressings, because I have a couple of the original pressings. Granted, they're a little bit noisy, and this one's dead quiet. But as far as the sonic quality, this one is the one you want. And I was so happy to pick this up. I got this a couple weekends ago. I listened to it, I think 3 times all the way through, and it's just an absolute pleasure to listen to. So if you haven't heard this album, or you have heard it, but you haven't heard this pressing, I highly recommend it. So jump on over to needlemeetsvinyl.com. Check out all of these new additions that have been added to the website. Get them while you can, because I'm sure they're going to go pretty quickly. And I have to say a big thank you, as always, to all of you, because almost every time I make one of these YouTube videos showing what I've just added to the website, it seems like within that evening or the next morning, someone has purchased at least one or two of the records I've shown. So all of you are just amazing, and you're making this little side business that I'm starting an absolute pleasure to do. It's so much fun. Like I said, over the weekend, my fiance and I, we got an amazing haul of records, and which I'll be showing to you very, very soon as I get them ready to go for the website, and make sure that they're the best sounding pressings that I can possibly find. So, as I said earlier, stay tuned. The Beatles are coming. The Beatles are coming. Their Beatles will be on the website very, very soon. An excellent copy of Revolver, and which, by the way, is not a UK pressing, and it's not a US pressing. So we'll leave you hanging there for a little while so you can try to guess what pressing it is. And that's it for now. So go to neilmeetsvinyl.com, check out the website, check out all the latest editions, sign up for the mailing list so you will always be, each month you will get an email and know exactly what I've just added to the website. And that's it for now. So we'll see you later. Okay. Bye-bye.